All right, hello and how the hell are you guys? Welcome to season 2 of the Greasy Paint channel. Now, right off the bat, I want to tell you all I have some artists that I know personally who have some really cool projects coming up, projects that I'm happy to be a part of. So I want to kick things off to help promote them, but more on that later. So if this is your first time with me, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't miss out on the rest of the paintings this season. So, with a new series to kick off, I thought this would be a good time to try the Bill Alexander 2.5-inch brush.
Oh my god! Wow!
I've never used this brush before. I'm really excited to break it out. Now, if you don't have this brush, just go ahead and use your standard old 2-inch brush. You'll be fine. Now, what should we paint today? Well, I think we should go back to something traditional. Warm weather, blue skies, green trees and bushes, the works. After all, winter's over and spring is here.
Finally!
So get your paints and your brushes out, get them all ready, and get your liquid white on. And if you feel like you have too much on, just take a clean dry brush and firmly go over the whole thing, and that'll get rid of a lot of the excess white. Now I gotta get it off my brush and clean it, so okay, everyone, are you all ready? So grab a 1-inch brush and go into some yellow ochre and just tap it in like that. That's enough. And maybe 2/3 down, right above the horizon. Pick a spot and just work it in. Left to right with X strokes. That's good, that's good, that's good. I'm only going to want a hint of this glow in the sky. Most of it will be blue, which we'll put on in a second. And don't even load the brush again. Whatever you had on there is enough. Now, if you want more of a glow, put it in. But this is where I'm about to just stop right there. So, you don't have to fully clean this brush. Maybe you do if it's the only 1-inch brush you have. I have a whole bunch. Otherwise, just take a shop towel and rub it on there. And that'll be good enough. Now, what's next? I'll go into some Phthalo Blue, and I just want to tap that brush just like that. A little of that blue goes a long way. I might even wipe some of that off. With the liquid white already up there, a little paint can be spread a long, long way. And once again, just using X strokes. Wow, I really, really like this 2.5-inch brush. I highly recommend it. If you guys are thinking of getting a new brush, get this one. Now I'm being very careful about how far I bring this dark color down because I don't want this to eat away that yellow I made. As a matter of fact, if it mixes in there, it might turn green. And don't really want a green sky, or at least not today. And notice how I'm leaving a little bit of a space between the two colors. I'll tell you why in a little bit. And maybe, actually no, I'll just stop right about there. Go back to that 1-inch brush I had and maybe bring this up a little. Yeah. Just so it's not too symmetrical. Okay, be very careful. Don't try to blend those colors really. All right, now back to that dirty brush we had. I think I'll go into I'll make the water a little darker, and that's why I have the Prussian Blue down here. Prussian Blue is a little bit stronger, so let's go from the corners, start left to right. And I start from the bottom and work upwards because when you first put on the color, it's going to be, it's going to be the darkest. And as more paint leaves that brush, the lighter it'll get, and the further things are away, the lighter in color they are.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
And And I'm keeping that brush horizontal. Whether I go start from here or there, keep it horizontal. Let me darken that side up a little bit, just even it out. Nice. At this point, if you wanted, you can almost make a seascape here. But no, I want to make a landscape. Actually, I'm going to touch a little bit of the black with that dark blue color on there, just a little bit, and darken the corners, just the very corners up top here. There we go. And here too, why not? Tiny bit at the top. And now, as you can see, in the corners, we have black and blue, which is how I'm going to end up looking when my wife finds out I spilled paint on the floor. So already we have a two-tone sky and some water in our picture in just under a few minutes. See, folks, it really is that easy. You can do it.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Now, I want to blend the sky a little, get rid of these brush marks, but in order to do that, we have to fully clean this brush. So whatever solvent you use, or even if you don't use any, this is the best way to do it. Just keep rubbing it on the paper towels or the shop towels. I highly recommend. Shop towels are much better. Try to get as much excess off as possible. And let's come over here, dip that dirty brush into the secret bucket of solvent I have, which is non-toxic and safe to use indoors. And the beater rack inside our waste basket. Shake it out, right? And
Two hours later.
And we just beat it like it owes us a tax refund. Now, with our clean, mostly dry brush, we start from the lightest color. Otherwise, if we bring the darker color down, it's going to eat this all away. Sky's going to turn green, and I don't want that, but if you want that, now you know what to do. So get rid of the harsh brush strokes here. All right, yeah, that's much, much better. Cool. All right, just rub the excess paint off. I don't think we're gonna need to fully clean it again just yet. So we can put that down and take our fan brush, and how about we make some clouds here? Yeah, let's do that. Actually, let's make some background clouds first. We always paint what's in the back first, right? I don't want that too white, so I'm gonna go into a little bit, just a little bit of black. There we go. I'll make some stringy ones in the back here before we go any further. Then we can make some more redefined clouds. And you know what? If you don't like how that's turning out, or you decide you don't want stringy clouds, all you gotta do is just blend it away. And look at that, blend it away. There you go, it's gone.
And just like that, it's gone like an angel's kiss.
Just wanted to show you what's possible. All right, so let's go into full black, because I want to make some bigger, fluffier clouds, but with some gray in it. So, but we always make the darker color first, usually when we do this. So get that black good and on there on that fan brush, and pick a spot. And if you have trouble with making these clouds, upper right hand corner, I go into tutorial about how to make those. So let's pick maybe, I don't know, the first one can be right here, using just the corner. And it goes on and on and on maybe. So let's make another one that'll be right next to it, I guess. Maybe right here. You're going to blend this. You're going to blend this when we add the white in. Very small circles. There we go. Okay. Let's try and get as much as that black off our fan brush as possible. And if you clean your fan brush like this, make sure you start from the bottom and pull to the top like that, because you want to keep those hairs and preserve the direction they're going forward like that. Okay. Always remember to take care of your brushes and they'll take care of you. So I'm actually going to go into a little bit of liquid white on my brush, or first coat white, or whatever you're using, just to thin out my white color here just a little bit so the clouds will stick better. There we go. After all, springtime is raining season, so maybe these clouds aren't pure white. It got some gray in them. April showers bring May flowers, right? So right on top of where we made the gray, there we go. Circles again, just circles. Turn it over. All right, that's one cloud down. We got another one. So let's do that. Circles. Once again, just the corner, just that corner of the brush. And then probably halfway, I turn it over and then use that corner and just make circles.
It's a circle.
Now, if you guys are only working with one 1-inch brush, go ahead, use the solvent, clean it off. You need a clean, dry brush for this next part, because where these two colors meet with the gray shadow and the cloud itself, you want to very gently bring it together. And these circles are very, very small that I'm using. Very, very small. Okay, you can wipe that off a little. And same thing over here. We're just bringing it together. You could do this with the 2-inch brush, but I feel like you have more control with the 1-inch, because we're working in such a tight area here. And we're just bringing it together, see? See how tiny those circle movements are? And there we are.
Nice.
Now, if you feel those clouds are too gray, just go ahead. Clean your fan brush with your towels like I told you and taught you. And take the knife, get rid of this gray color. Maybe put it over here. Maybe we'll use it later. Maybe we won't. I don't know. And drag out some fresh white, some brighter white. And repeat the process. Maybe a little bit brighter here. A little bit brighter here. Maybe not the whole thing, just some parts, you know. A little bit brighter here and here. Like that. A little blending, of course. Very light touch. There we are. But make sure you fully clean that fan brush now with solvent and dry it off, because we're going to need it later for our trees. So what do you think, folks? What about a mountain? Let's do it. Let's take all our dark colors, all the blues, and put it right here. That's Prussian Blue, Phthalo Blue, Alizarin Crimson, of course, and maybe even some burnt umber and black. Just want a really, really dark mountain-based color. And then if you're intimidated about making mountains and you feel like you need practice with it, click the upper right-hand corner. It's a big, detailed video on how to make those mountains. And even if you don't have this palette knife, I go over how to make mountains other ways. So we mix this color real well. Hopefully that's good. And pull it out really flat as you can get that. And this is how I cut across with the knife. And there we go. Roll of paint on the knife, just like that. Hope you can see it. Pick where you want your mountain to be, and maybe it sits up really, really high like this, and that's the biggest peak maybe, I think. That's what I'm going to go for. Maybe make it more interesting. Give it a tiny little peak next to it. Oh, sure. Yeah, there we go. And I'm pushing with that knife when I make those shapes, and then scraping just as hard as well. Don't worry about the bottom right there. Don't worry about that just yet. And maybe that small peak is right here. Let me fix it. I don't know. And goes down. And let's get another roll. And one more peak. Right there. Okay. Now we know where our mountain is going to live. Just try to scrape as much of this off. Alright, that's good enough.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Ugh! Get it away from me, man!
Now take your clean, dry 2-inch brush and line that brush up with the peak, just right under it. You don't want to go above it, otherwise you're going to mess up those that outline that you made. This is like making the blueprint for your mountains that I always say. And drag the excess paint out, and there we go. And follow those angles and slopes. Follow those angles and slopes. Yeah, and maybe this one, that little baby one over here went this way. And don't worry about that you crossed that one, because you're going to fix it now. You still have other angles and other slopes on this mountain to fix. So there we are. And you're just picking out at the same time where you want these highlights to land. There we are. Remember, folks, if I can do it, so can you.
You can do it!
And you just spread that dirty color and blend it away in the bottom. Until it becomes nothing but a misty area right here. Let's take that white we had over here with a little bit of black in it. Maybe we're going to need a little bit more for the highlights, and put it right here. Get a little bit more black. Don't want it completely bright and white. After all, the clouds are out. And once again, we pull this knife very flat with the paint on our palette like that. See? Pull it out very, very flat. Here. I'll do it again. It's okay if your paint's not completely mixed to one color. If you want to leave it marbly, that's okay too. So there we go. Pull it out hard and flat. Just pull it out flatter than Paris Hilton's chest. Get a roll of paint, and let's put our first highlight right here. Gentle touch, match that knife up with that peak, and there we go.
I have several questions.
And you're using no pressure. As soon as you feel that roll of paint hit the canvas, that's it. I say this all the time. And for those of you who have been following me for a while, probably saying, this guy's getting repetitive. Well, the rules don't change. And you never know who's watching. Could be someone new. It could be someone struggling. And there we go, top one, highest peak right here. nice. These two huge gaps here, like they just happen. And you know, if you have too many breaks that you don't like, just gently go over it like that. And you fix it. And it looks more solid. It's very unpredictable where your highlights and your snow is going to break when you make mountains like that. That's why I love doing it. So many details just happen. You're not really doing anything crazy. More paint, another roll, because we have another peak, and about right there. Comes down, down, and down. Now before I put some shadows in, I think I want a little bit more around here. Just cover this, make this look a little bit smoother. Maybe it comes out on a ridge like that. More highlight on the bottom. You can always add more if you ran out of paint. It's totally cool. You are allowed to do that.
Huh. Seems legit.
So wipe off your knife and let's make a shadow color and take some titanium white, put it right there, and very slowly but surely add phthalo blue to it, but just a little bit. Phthalo blue is very strong, and this can make your shadow color a little too blue, a little too cool. Which is what I think I did, but easy fix. We just add more titanium white. And I'm going to leave it marbly like this. So drag it out, get a roll of paint, and we just pick one of these dark areas and go in the opposite direction. We went like this, follow the angles. Now we'll go like that. Here, I'll start off with the smaller one so we can see. There we go. If you feel like the paint is very sticky, that's a good thing. That means you're using the right consistency, the right brand of paint. It should feel firm. That's how it needs to be for this to work. And before I go into more shadow color, maybe I'll just pick some spaces here and there that exist on the mountain. It's also a great way not to waste any paint. And just adds a little bit more detail here and there. So there we go. We did that. We have other peaks to fill. And this is a small area, so just be very careful. And touch. And there we are. All right. And here too. We still have paint on this, but I'm going to reload the knife just in case. All right, where are we? Okay, it's this peak's turn, so bring it right over. And it's also important the way you hold the knife. Some people even only use 2 fingers. I go over this in the mountain tutorial video. They do this. Whatever works for you. And that ensures you do a gentle touch. I use it like this, but I make it a habit of making sure that I'm using a very gentle touch. So mess around, see what works for you. Because maybe you are doing it very gently, but you're not holding the knife right. Down here a little bit. Why not? Okay. Let's bring a tiny more shadow. Fill this area right here. There we go. And last but not least, this peak too. There we are. Roll it up again. Just keep working it. And those mountains are higher than our gas prices right now. But hey, at Taco Bell, you can still get gas for $1.39. Huh? Okay, so if you want to add more detail to your mountain, let's say you want brighter highlights there, just in a few spots. Let's go into our pure titanium white and just a tiny, tiny roll. Smaller than we usually make, and just a few places here and there, just touch. For example, maybe here. Maybe we cut another roll, put one here. Might not even see that on camera. See? Really just touching. Just barely touching the canvas. There.
Wow.
Now let's take a 2-inch brush and just get some Sap Green on the brush. Pure Sap Green. See how we're just going to tap it into our palette like that?
Tap it in. Give it a little tappy.
We're going to tap it in the same way onto our canvas and start from here. We're going to make a hill. The first layer should be lighter, so the first hill should maybe like that. A green grassy hill. There we are. All right, I got an extra brush here, and you can do this with the 1-inch brush or whatever brush is clean on your end. So I'm gonna tap out the bottom just like we did there. And you can do this with the 1-inch brush. This is just faster. We made our first hill. When I missed out the bottom there, it's gonna create distance for the next hill we put in. For example, let's get more Sap Green, but let's go into a little bit of this dark mountain color here. Gotta darken it up a little. All right, and right under it, maybe it just goes like that. Maybe this one has a few more hills to it. Okay. There we are. Now we should take a fan brush and go into Sap Green. Just like the background here, we'll make some distant pine trees and stuff. Let's test the color first. I'm not sure if I want this color. I think that's good. And I'm holding the brush vertically like this. I think they should be a little bit darker and more distinct at the top. Let's get more paint. And some of them will be taller than the others. Helps too if you crunch the brush in like that, the same way you're doing on the canvas, right into your paint. There we are. Let's bring some of this down a little bit. I should have done these trees before I did this hill, but that's okay. Gives me a chance to show you guys how to fix that. For example, now that 2-inch brush that we just used, if that was your only brush, clean that, because we gotta tap out this base like we did with this hill. And just there. I'm gonna miss that out. I'm really just using the top corner of the brush to do that. Okay, now I understand we kind of lost translation here, but we just go into that color again and redefine. There we are. Easy, easy fix.
That was easy.
Now we can take the knife, go back to that grayish white color, and slice. See, before we did this, right? We pulled it out, and we got a roll of paint. But this time, we want to slice across. So we pull it out flat, and then we do that. And there should be a roll of paint sort of sitting on top of the knife like that, because we're going to hold it horizontally and just put it in the water line where that hill meets the water. And just keep doing that. And that just helps separate where our landmarks are. And you add as much as you want. Decide how still this water is, how wild it can be. Just a tiny bit here maybe. Just try to keep that knife left to right and straight. Maybe we can add more later. We can really add as much as we want. I'm not sure yet what's going to get covered here. But you can do it. For any of you newcomers out there, I want you to know you can do it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a little break right now and show you some artwork that people have sent to me. Once again, we received work by Keith Hayes. Looks like a very peaceful picture of a place I would love to visit. Keith, thank you for always keeping in touch, and please keep up the great work. Oh, and this one by Stefanos Basakis, painting along to my previous video, Emerald Sky. You, sir, did a wonderful job. Thanks for sharing and painting along. This one by my buddy Steve. What an original painting this is. His first time doing a cabin, too. I particularly love the choice of colors used. Thank you, Steve. And this one by my newest friend, Tasha. Tasha, I love the colors in the sky. Everyone wish Tasha good luck with her first showcase next month. Thank you for your support as well. And of course, Mr. Bob Daniels here, who you should all follow on Instagram. Bob, it seems like you paint every single day, and honestly, I'm envious of your time to do so. But great work as always, and what a painting. So if any one of you want to send in pictures of your artwork, please do so. I'll gladly promote it on this channel. And as a matter of fact, it's very important to keep art in your lives, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be painting, it can be anything else. So we're going to take a little break right now and promote a little something I have coming up. Alright everyone, we're on break from the painting once again. And I am here at the Mayfair Theater in lovely Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is like an hour and a half, no more than 2 hours drive from New York. I've been going back and forth here for the past couple of months for rehearsals for a play. And I am here with Autumn Marie Kaiser. Did I say that right? Kaiser. Autumn Marie Kaiser. Sorry.
Oh, I guess.
And Autumn is here to tell you all about this play. Please tell us what it's called, tell us what it's about. Autumn is the creator, writer, and director.
Thank you.
My show is called 4/20/99, A Story of Columbine, and it covers the events of the April 20th, 1999 tragedy in Littleton, Colorado at Columbine High School, where 15 people were killed, including 13 victims, 1 teacher, and the 2 perpetrators. The purpose of this show is to spread awareness on the school shooting epidemic that we're currently experiencing around the world, and to ensure that this story never becomes forgotten, no matter how much time passes.
It's a play based on a real life tragedy. What motivated or inspired you to write a play based on this event?
So in my senior year of high school, which was not that long ago, I was in an advanced theater class, a play productions class, and our biggest assignment of the semester was to write a 1-act play, and it would have the chance to be performed at the school. And I was really struggling with what to write about, and at the same time that this was happening, in my sociology class, we had just finished watching the Oscar-winning movie Bowling for Columbine. And I had felt very moved by that film, and I figured, wow, if there's anything to make a play about that you don't really see often in art, it's gun violence awareness or school shooting awareness. And so I felt propelled from there to write about Columbine. And it was performed at my school. It debuted in January of 2018, and now we are here 4 years later.
Well, this event at Columbine took place so many years ago, 1999, we're here in 2022. Do you believe that a play like this is still relevant today?
I hope so. I think a lot of people feel as though that we don't need to talk about this anymore, or that too much time has passed. And I completely disagree. I think we shouldn't be numb to other people's pain. And although the world has moved on, those that were directly involved or were directly hurt by Columbine, it affects them every single day. And the fact that we're still living in this school shooting epidemic, I'm hoping it allows people to not realize that this shouldn't become forgotten, or that we should just move on from it.
Absolutely. It's still happening. Just in New York 2 days ago, where I'm from, we had that shooting in the subway. It's almost like every day, if you read the news, there's the next one. And it's like, it keeps happening. So we still need to...
Last week at Erie High School in Erie, Pennsylvania, a student brought a gun to the school and injured another student. Luckily, nobody was killed or seriously injured, but this is still a very frequent occurrence in our country and around the world.
Well, in any case, I thought this would be good and be important to give this project some exposure, not just because I'm a part of it, but as an actor, I play a character called Nate Dykeman, based on a real-life person as well. And Nate knew Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the 2 shooters of Columbine. And even though this is based on a real-life story, I want people to come away with my character to see that, somebody who's friends with potentially who's going to end up doing something terrible, or a madman, same music, same clothes, they're into the same thing. That doesn't really mean anything. You can't judge someone from just how they look, just because they wear dark clothing or listen to rock music that you may not like or agree with, you know what I mean? And Autumn, when can the viewers possibly see this play, the performances?
So we open May 20th at the Waterfront South Theater in Camden, New Jersey. We will have 10 performances, May 20th through 22nd, 27th through 29, and June 2nd through 5, all of which are evening performances. This production is 18 and over. Due to some of the content in the show, we felt it best to be 18 and over. You can buy tickets now. They just were on sale as of yesterday at astoryofcolumbine.com for $19.99.
All right, so any of my viewers out there, if you're in the Philly, Pennsylvania area, or South Jersey, or even from New York, it's really only no more than an hour and a half rides away. Please purchase your tickets. There's links down below. Any social media to follow?
Yes. We have an Instagram, A Story of Columbine, a Tumblr, A Story of Columbine, and a TikTok, A Story of Columbine, which we have yet to be posted on, but will shortly. And we would love to see anybody there. And if you feel moved by this story or want to shoot us a message, feel free to do so on our website. We have an open suggestion or submission box for anybody who has any questions or concerns or feedback.
All right, thank you so much. I posted all those links below. Check it out if you're interested. And Autumn, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, I really hope you can make it out if you're interested. The cast is filled with great, talented actors. There's a link in the description that will take you to the website where you can order tickets from. Now, again, there's 10 different dates to choose, so if you're interested, please come. Otherwise, if you just want to meet me after the show and talk painting, hey, that's cool too. So, what were we doing? Where were we? Okay, so you know what? Since we have some of that sap green already on our brush, let's take some. Let's take more, actually. And let's go into our dark mountain color just to darken that up. So we have sap green and mountain color, right? And let's make trees like this a little closer, a lot more detail. Pine trees, evergreens, whatever the hell you want to call them. All right, let's start right about there. Okay, top, just the corner of the brush. And little by little, more of the brush. Still using the corner at this point. Oh, it's getting bigger and bigger.
That's what she said.
And maybe it should be a little bit darker on the bottom. So. Okay, there we are. I wanted to make it darker to have more contrast with the trees in the background. Okay. There we go. Maybe that's our biggest one right there. So, let's get more of that color. All right. Let's make a family of trees. And we'll put another one right there. Who here is still having trouble with making their trees? Raise your hands.
Come on, raise your hands. Let's see them. Okay,
Upper right hand corner right now. Taking it to my tree tutorial. Corner of the brush, and there we are. And as you go down further, a little bit more of the corner of the brush, still holding it horizontal though. And back and forth, left to right. Turn the brush over, get more paint. And there you're set. And I would like to put one more tree. Put one right up here. And see? Just the corner. See that top corner? I'm going to turn the brush this way and touch. Very tiny, very gently. And as I work my way down, left to right, I will use more of the brush. See, now I'm turning the brush. And I'm going to hit the canvas even harder. Now I'm using more of that brush. And that tree gets wider and fatter towards the bottom, nice and full. There. Let's take the palette knife and sharpen up the top if you want. You can do that. All right, now let's take burnt umber, yeah. A little bit of burnt umber and mix it with some white just to highlight it a little bit. And just here and there, maybe at the top, touch. Yeah, let me see some tree trunks in here. Oh, that's a good one, right? Nice wide one, maybe. This one's all the way at the bottom. And there we are. Now we can take that dirty fan brush we had and let's see if the paint will stick without any thinning out. Let's see. And start at the top. You're going to see most of these highlights at the top. Oh, mine is actually sticking. Now if yours isn't, go into a a little bit of the liquid white or linseed oil and just mix that with your lighter green color, which is almost yellow here, and it'll stick. If it's not sticking, that is totally normal. And I'm leaving a lot of dark in. That's very important. You want to do that. You don't want to cover all the highlights, all the shadows. As a matter of fact, I'm going to actually leave it quite dark down here. Now I'll take a 1-inch brush, go into that dark tree color we had. And pull it this way. See? Point it one direction like that. Turn it over. And that's how we're going to stick it onto the canvas. And I go over this in the first tree tutorial I make. So we're going to make some bushes for these trees to sit on. And maybe right there, there. There we are. Decide how far those bushes should come out. Okay, more color. And I think we're definitely gonna, if you got away with putting highlights on the trees without thinning out your paint, you're gonna have to do it this time, sorry. I can almost bet you will. Because we're putting a lot of paint here, so thick, so thick. All right. But before we get into those highlights, let's reflect this all down right here. And just make a rough estimate of the same shapes. Look, just gonna put paint on like that. Very messy. See how careful you have to be when painting? I'm not even gonna look. And that's fine. So, take a clean, dry 2-inch brush and pick how much of these bushes you want. So, be careful not to go all the way down, like or how far you pull it down, I should say, because you don't want to pull the reflections down more than the actual bushes itself. Might look a little silly. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm going to keep it like that. So we went down. Now I'm just going to rub off some excess paint that I picked up and go across from right to left because we're on the right corner, so we're going to go, there we are. And everything's just reflecting down in the water. Now I'm going to go ahead and dip that dirty 1-inch brush we used into some liquid white I have over here on the side. I always keep a little bit of liquid white on the side so I don't contaminate the main can. Otherwise, your liquid white's not gonna it's not gonna be liquid white anymore. So I'm going to use about that much and go into this color. Might have been a little bit too much. Rub some off here. Okay. Into that brighter color we had. Now, a good indication to know if you're loading the brush the right way is if you see those little ridges right there. So we load it up again in one direction, right? Flip it over. And now, when we originally put the bushes on, we were just like kind of, you know, really giving it. But we have to be very gentle this time and just sort of stamp it on. See? Actually, and what you can do actually is start going into yellow ochre as well and just making a new value of yellows. Okay? You can reflect those right into the water as well. fix that color there. And right here, right? And into the water, of course. And how about a new brand of yellow? One that looks like this. There we go. And even some Cad Red. And we'll have this one right up here. Okay, where's that brush we made? All right. Okay, try to wipe that 2-inch brush off. I'll use the other side. See this side has green on it and the other side don't? So use the clean side and go down. Very gently. This is a very gentle touch. Wipe off excess paint and left to right, right? Or right to left, I should say. There we are. Let's take the knife, go into burnt umber. Cut a roll of paint like that. And so a lot of these bushes need to have dirt to sit on, right? So if you're starting from the right side of the canvas, work right to left all the time. For example, I'm gonna start here and there we are. Okay, a little bit more color. There we are. Maybe we'll highlight that just a little bit. Not too bright. Keep it marbly. Not too much, because the light's back there, so you won't see too much highlight. I guess it would remain dark. And I'm just touching, really. Just like we do the highlights on the mountains. So very gentle, simple touch. Comes out like that. Alright, now wipe the knife off. Wipe it good and clean. And we'll take some titanium white, slice across, don't cut across, slice. And we'll make some water lines here. And that helps separate where the land and water meet. Okay. And you make as many or as few ripples as you want. Just try your best to keep the knife leveled. Sometimes I have trouble doing that, as you can see. Okay. There we are.
Wow.
I actually want to do the same thing over here. Let's make some bushes over here. Yeah, why not? I'm going to use the big brush now. I already had green on there, so I didn't even need to clean it. I love when I don't need to clean the brush. Let's get the dark color in. Pull it in one direction. Now that 2-inch brush looks really bushy at the top, and that rounded edge is what we're going to use to press over here. So where do I want it? I guess just starting from here, that's fine. Don't think about it too long.
Oh, what is that?
A lot happens for you with this big brush. So fast. See, I'm just stamping it on. I'm not moving the brush around. I'm not doing this. No. See, now I gotta fix that. Okay, and firmly, you know, load that brush on your palette like that. There we are. Cool.
No, don't like that.
We already had this brush filled with those highlight colors, so let's keep doing it. I'm going to dab into just a little bit more liquid white. Excuse me. Pick out where you want some highlights. Maybe, oh, you know, I'll start here. So as the color wears off, it'll get further and further away from us. It'll fade more, so. Oh, that's really, really bright. Nice and bright. Okay. It's one bush down. How about some yellow ochre? Some Cad Red. Just keep switching it up. Just keep messing with it. Okay. Back to a brighter Cad. And you know what? If you want to brighten your colors, just go into titanium white. And look at that. Now I think, I'll take some of the burnt umber. I'll bring it over here, running out of room. Just a tiny bit of the crimson because we have so much of it left. I'll even darken it up with a little bit of black. Yeah, there we go. And make a little pathway here. How about starting from here? Just moving the knife around from left to right, because we're starting on the left corner. We're going to need more paint. All right. Run out of paint very fast when you do this. I'm going to use all of this pile that I made. We have a little pathway right here. It's okay if you run out of paint, you can just make more. There we are. But let's highlight that, of course, so we can see it a little better. Yeah. So many values we made with this pile. Look at that. Okay. Just touch. Not going over the whole thing. Just left to right. There we are. That dirty fan brush we had, if you want, you can take some of the green and touch it up on the road here a little. As a matter of fact, just so that path looks like it's more naturally hidden. As a matter of fact, though, we should have done that over here. Just where between the land and the bushes meet. Just... unless you already think it looks good the way it is. Then leave it. I'm going to go ahead and fully clean that fan brush because, one, there's a lot of paint on it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to dip it into solvent and, you know, give it the works. Okay, that's good enough. Now I'm just going to beat it.
Many unbearable hours later.
This is annoying. I don't know why you people are watching this shit anymore. The point has been made. You've seen all you need to see. Move on.
And the reason we had to clean that fan brush is because we're going to go into our burnt umber right now. Once again, maybe a touch of Alizarin Crimson. Maybe a little bit more. And we'll use up the rest of this black and make one big tree that sits over here. and watches over these bushes. So maybe it starts right here.
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey!
What the hell is even that?
People go crazy when you just make a big mark in the middle like that, and they think you ruin your painting. Not true. And there's a big limb over here. Maybe it's a little bit thicker as it goes down. It's very, very fun, actually. Okay, I'm going to darken that up. And now we will go into some refined linseed oil, which I have over here, with our liner brush. When you dip that brush in there, you go into our paint to really, really, really thin it out. Even a bit more. And just keep twisting that. Yeah, right. See how that's running down the palette? That's okay, that's a good sign. But just twist that brush around, and we'll make these limbs here. There we are. You will find that you have to go back into the paint because it's so thin. It's so thin. So it comes off so easily, so you have to reload your brush pretty often when you do this. Right? Up here too. We might lose a few of these when we add the leaves. I would just want to show you right now how it's done, how we make them. And the reason why this works is because when you have a thinner paint on there, it just flows. Because what? A thin paint sticks to a thick paint. Say it with me. A thin paint sticks to a thick paint. All right, you got it. Okay. Now where's that 2-inch brush we had to make all these bushes down here? The dark color? Well, it's still dirty. Let's, well, you know what? I still have so much crimson left. Let's grab it. It's a dark color and use the rest of this sap green and this mountain color. That's the last of it. Okay. Put some branches on this bad boy. Winter's over.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Branches. Leaves. Alright. There we are. Covering up our cloud a little bit. That's okay. Dark color, dark color. See through some of the tree? That's really cool, right?
I disagree.
Let's take our knife, go into a little bit of yellow ochre and mix it with that light burnt umber we had. Just to give it a different value. And make some highlights on the bark here. Light's coming from this way, so I think we should. And I match it there and I just pull. Give it a little pull. Okay. Run out of highlight, put more on. See? Don't worry about that up there. We still got to put highlights on the leaves. There we are. Just wipe off my knife and bring this a little further to the left. There we go. It's very gentle, a very gentle touch. Now we were putting highlights down here with the bushes, so let's continue to do that. And cover up the bottom of the tree. There we are. It's going to be fun washing this brush, this 1-inch brush we have here. Loads and loads of paint on it. Okay. How about A very red one. Sometimes if you have enough paint, you can even just tap it on there. Really, really hard. But when you put the highlights on, very gentle. And there we are. Now you either fully clean this brush, which is going to take a while, so I'm just going to skip to my my other 1-inch brush, which is clean, and well, fairly clean, clean enough, and go into what, liquid white again? Yeah, just a little bit, and go into. Well, I'm going to start off with green first, and then I'm going to lighten it. Even go blue, and then lighten it like that. Because blue and yellow make green. I'm just trying to get a different value here. See? See what happens when you just mess around and you just don't even think about it? About one more. This part's bothering me. Right there. Cool, huh? Now, if you feel like you've lost some branches after putting the leaves and the highlights on them, just go back in same way with linseed oil, or however you thin your paint, and add more in. And you spend as much time as you want putting in this detail. And even I get carried away sometimes. Well, most of the time, I should say. But there we have it, folks. A nice warm spring day. What do you think?
Thing sucks!
Okay, well, I guess painting's not everyone's cup of tea. But Season 2, Episode 1, we did it. And here's a sneak preview of the next painting we'll be doing. It's based on a real photograph taken by a dear friend of mine, but that's another story for another episode. So till then, keep your dreams high and your pompadours in the sky. Let's paint together.